Good morning and welcome to the quarterly Data Liberation Front webinar. It is Friday, 26 September. Can you believe it? It's, wow.
The end of the year is upon us.
Yeah, it definitely is. Before we get going with what we're going to go through today, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. We always enjoy spending time with first newcomers. Who is Element 8? Element 8 is the sole sub-Saharan Africa distributor for the Ignition Industrial Automation Platform, Sepasoft MES, and Canary Data Historian. We exist to ensure a data-driven and flourishing future for industry. Our guiding principles are to humbly serve our community and industry, to learn from others and share what we've learned, and what we provide. In other words, what do we sell? To put beans in our coffee machine is intuitive and scalable industrial technologies to break down the barriers of cost and complexity. So that's a little bit about Element 8. If we haven't met yet, my name is Yaku. I'm the team lead at Element 8. With me is Gary Lowenstein, sales engineer and local grey wizard. Gandalf the Grey. We also have Luan with us here in person, who is our producer for the webinar and for everything else that we do. Morning, Luan.
Master of Digital.
Master of Digital. Your time is valuable. Thank you for spending this Friday morning with us. We promise to make it valuable. We're excited to share another brilliant case study with you today. And joining us to showcase their work are, and please forgive me, Demeji Monisola. You do such an elegant job of pronouncing my name, but I always get it wrong. From Zip Automations, Demeji, Technical Project Manager, and Monisola, Software Automation Engineer. Good morning, and thank you for joining us and sharing your work that you've done with us this morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having us.
We're looking forward to it, and I'm sure our community is looking forward to seeing the application as well. Yeah. Before we get to that, just a couple of other things we want to go through. We want to give you a little bit of news from from the ICC or the Ignition Community Conference. ICC in short. There's some highlights we want to make sure that you're aware of over there. We want to introduce something called Solution Suites. A really exciting new offering. We want to just remind you of some upcoming events that you may find valuable to join as we round up the end of the year. And then we will look at the really amazing application that Demeji and the team have developed for their customer in Nigeria. And then we've got Q&A. Q&A is always on the agenda, but I think we prefer some interaction. So we are known for sending gift bags to interactive people on the webinar. I think our previous winner was from Business Connection.
Yeah, it was Sam.
Sam, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sam from Business Connection. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask at any time. We are here to be valuable and share information. So there is by no means need to wait until the end of the session for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please put it in the chat and Luan will make sure that we answer those. So last week, a couple of us were fortunate enough to attend the 2025 ICC this year for the first time in Sacramento. It was really nice to have a bit of an African delegation going over, a growing African delegation. That's really encouraging. And inductive automation leveled up from past ICCs in several ways. This year, there were more than 1,500 in-person attendees. Clearly the biggest ICC yet. Many highlights, certainly not enough time for us to go through everything this morning, but certainly first and foremost, a massive ICC announcement. Congratulations to the local system integrator company, Consera, on their Firebrand award-winning application for Sibanye Stillwater. If you're not familiar, Firebrand is an international award that celebrates the most innovative ignition projects. This year, out of hundreds of submissions, Consera's ASM, Gary?
Abnormal Situation Management.
I always butcher that. Abnormal Situation Management ignition project not only stood out, but earned one of the highest scores from the Technical Evaluation Committee. And for the first time ever, this award comes home to Africa. So just a huge congratulations to the Consera and Sibanye teams for their fantastic achievement and recognition for Africa's first Firebrand Award. A really amazing.
Yeah, well done to Craig, Rolf, Jock, and the team at Concera. There is such a small team, and they've done such a phenomenal job.
Yeah, a growing team now. They're not so small anymore. They're very much in demand at the moment. So it's fantastic to see their growth as well as the award. So that was really big news coming from ICC, and we're proudly African with them for that award. Luan will be sharing links throughout the webinar. I think you've got the link out for the story.
Yeah,
Firebrand.
I've shared it just now.
Fantastic, cool. So if you want to have a look at that, look at the application in a little bit more detail, as well as some interviews to understand what the challenges were, some of the thought process behind the application they've built, and the actual results, click on the link and go check it out whenever you can. And then, of course, the long-awaited Ignition 8.3 was also released on the first day of the conference, and it wasn't the only release announced there. So yes, if you've missed it, Ignition 8.3 is live and available right now. Tian, I'm looking at you down in the Western Cape. It is available.
I phoned him.
Officially.
I phoned him to tell him, don't phone me, I'm phoning you.
It is officially available. There is very good comprehensive documentation, upgrade documentation. I think there's a couple of considerations with upgrade, Gary.
There is a fantastic upgrade guide, but if you are planning to upgrade, I suggest that you get hold of our customer success team and just talk it through with them, because as Jaco said, there are some considerations. There's a minimum version that you should be on, and in every webinar that I've attended, they're kind of indicating that you should be as close to the current version as possible.
Okay.
Which is 8.149, 8.50 will be out in the next couple of days. So,
yeah,
it's just worth talking through the process with the customer success team.
Absolutely. So 8.3 is fundamentally modernizes the core platform. It's not a minor upgrade, and it eliminates years of technical debt, ensuring that Ignition is leveled up enough to facilitate massive scale deployments and systems. And there's many highlights. We're not going to get into those highlights now. I think we've covered the highlights of 8.3 over the previous webinars and sessions. But really the keynote made it clear that 8.3 is not the finish line for Ignition, but actually a new beginning. And maybe worth mentioning is the forthcoming MCP module. So MCP, if you're not familiar, I certainly wasn't up until a couple of months ago, is short for Model Context Protocol, is really a standardized bridge that connects AI systems to real-world applications and data sources. So this makes MCP different from, for example, an AI model, which on its own only knows the data that it was trained on. So MCP really enables AI to securely access external tools, resources, databases, live data, other systems, turning your typical isolated AI models into connected systems capable of real-world problem solving. So this is a really big announcement from the ICC. And yeah, this makes building MCP functionality into your Ignition project incredibly easy. So if you're experimenting with agentic AI applications, the MCP module provides that domain-specific context that those agents need. So really big, exciting announcement. We say forthcoming. It won't be this year. It will be early in 2026, and it will be a feature of a module of 8.3. Hopefully early in 2026. I know a lot of people are quite excited about MCP and the possibilities it promises. Also introduced at the ICC were the new Ignition solution suites. So firstly, it's a completely new, novel way to purchase Ignition. Ignition solution suites are really a curated set of Ignition modules, but built around the most popular use cases for Ignition. So if you're familiar with the modules that has been available, Ignition is of course modular. If you have been deploying Ignition and those modules, you know that very often there's a very specific standard set of modules that you would typically deploy, and it makes sense to group those together in popular collections. So at first glance, it may just appear to be a bundle of modules, which is true, but it's also different. There's some commercial benefit, there's some discount on some of the suites, But more importantly is when you purchase this solution suite with upgrade protection, you're entitled to any and all upgrades for that suite in the future for free. So the solution suites will not remain as is. There will be modules and functionalities added to it over time. So that means you can take advantage of new modules without worrying about purchasing more.
I believe the MCP module is going to be added to one of those suites.
Correct. So the MCP module is a good example that will be added. So there are 5 suites in total that you can mix and match from, starting with the application building suite, which is really for building powerful, responsive applications. So included there is the perspective module and the reporting module. Then we have the industrial historian suite, designed to optimize your time series data with, of course, the powerful new built-in core historian, the ability to use multiple historian types, and built-in tools for trending and analysis. So a good example there, over and above the 2 current modules, in future there will be ETL capability or tools that will be added to this historian suite, and you will get that module at no charge when it's available.
Provided you're on
Basic Care, correct. Or a care package, starting with Basic Care. Then we have the Data Ops Suite, which really streamlines industrial data workflows with very specifically event-driven data and logic. Provides seamless SQL integration, API, enabling real-time data sharing and reliable foundation for modern operations. So those are currently the 3 modules that's included with the Data Ops Suite. The Alarm Management Suite, that also got a nice upgrade with 8.3. The Twilio module now includes WhatsApp capability. So the Alarm Management Suite gives you the power to take control of alarms and alarming philosophies with smart notifications and flexible escalation paths delivered through the workflow. And then finally, the Enterprise Integration Suite, which gets your entire company working together, essentially, by connecting plant floor systems to Ignition, enterprise systems to Ignition, MQTT, and other native connectors, for example, MongoDB and Kafka streams. So those are currently the 5 solution suites. So whether you're building your first Ignition project or scaling out your existing system, solution suites are designed to help you move faster and stay future ready. And of course, with the currently and always will be transparent pricing model, the prices are not hidden. You can see the price for each one of these suites on this page. It's also on the website. And if you're familiar with Ignition pricing, you'll notice that there are also some discounts on selected suites. So it makes sense to buy one of these suites. And if you want to get started today, you can, because they're available right now. In fact, they were available last week already upon announcement. And it is important to stress that you can still buy Ignition by the module. That is not changing. Ignition is still modular. Solution suites are not replacing the modular pricing or ability to build your own custom gateway and modules, but they do give you a new way to buy and a new way to future-proof your existing system. So you can purchase these suites by themselves, the modules by themselves, as we have been doing for many years, or a combination, really giving you the flexibility. And of course, to again stress and reiterate the value of the solution suites with upgrade protection. You will get any future modules included in those suites at no charge. So that is solution suites. Check it out. I'm not sure if we're sharing a link for that. But overall, for a guided tour of the new Ignition 8.3 features, be sure to register for Travis Cox's webinar next week, Tuesday, I think it is, September 30th. Yeah, next week, Tuesday, where Travis will take you through a guided tour of Ignition 8.3, which promises to be valuable. Or even better, join us in person for our Elevate tour this October. Demeji, we're not going to go that far north, your part of the world.
But you're welcome to come down, yeah.
You're welcome to join us in South Africa, hopefully soon. We'll see you in Nigeria. But the Elevate Tour 2025, we are touring around South Africa, 3 major metros, being Centurion, Pretoria, Umhlanga in KwaZulu-Natal, and Stellenbosch in the Western Cape. We not only will be Not only will we deep dive into these latest Ignition as well as Canary and Sepasoft features, lots of updates over there as well, but we will also showcase a technical demo like you've never seen before. I think we do a lot of PowerPoint, and there's always a lot to share, and PowerPoint is easy to facilitate that, but we really want to step it up at this Elevate tour and give you an insight into the capability of Ignition. And we are putting together a phenomenal technical demo that will really impress. And then, of course, together with our system integrator partners and international speakers, we'll present a collection of local case studies and also celebrate our top-selling system integrator partners for the year. So seats are limited, and it's not to be missed.
Yeah, make sure you register early.
Definitely. We would hate to put you on a waiting list. And we will share the link to Elevate as well. Are we good so far?
Yeah.
Everyone, any questions? No questions so far. Fantastic. Cool. So that is the end of the overflow of information around the ICC 8.3 and some upcoming events. So now we want to turn our attention to Dimeji and the Zip automation team to see what they have developed over how many years was the development for that, Dimeji?
So we started in 2023. That was when the discussion started, and then the installation and implementation was over the course of 2024. And it's a live system, so new sites and features are constantly being added.
Fantastic. Cool. So you are welcome to bring up your slides, and we look forward to seeing the application.
All right.
You don't mind if we ask questions?
Oh, of course, by all means.
Gary and I are quite curious. I don't want to say inquisitive.
Yeah. So I would be happy to answer all the questions. I have Monisola with me here. Any question I can't answer, she'll step in. She'll step in and answer. So I'm just a mouthpiece. So good morning, everybody. My name is Dimeji once again, and Jaco pronounced it properly. Dimeji from Zip Automations. So this morning I'll just be walking you through the system that we built for a client in Nigeria. I may not be mentioning some specific names, just for confidentiality reasons. So the client approached us with a problem that they had. They had gas stations scattered in different parts of the country and some outside Nigeria that would require them driving around to take manual readings to enable them bill their customers. So they needed a system that could reliably capture the information from all the different locations, transmit it to a remote server, and they also wanted to be able to remotely shut down customers in the event that, maybe high pressure situations or a customer that was defaulting with their payments. So they had this situation where they would be able to read the data sometimes, but if a customer defaults, they would not be able, the customer might deny them access to their premises to isolate the gas. So they wanted something that could allow them remotely shut down the data. So we needed bi-directional communication. So that's just a little bit of context. So just an overview of the project. They wanted it to be web-based.
Sorry, I didn't do you justice. You're not a system integrator. You're a gold certified system integrator. I didn't mention that.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So, sorry for that. I don't know if you're going to...
It's fine. And the interesting thing is that when we started all this, that's one of the things I love about Ignition and inductive automation. We did not directly have any contact with you. We just looked for a solution, and Ignition I'd looked into it a little bit, but there were a lot of resources online to help us get started. So when we had problems, there was a great community, there were resources online, and we had already built a substantial bit of the application before we established contact with you to start talking about the licenses and the further help that you provided. So we are gold certified. I think we have at least, I'm thinking off the top of my head, we have Moni. I think I did 3 or 4. I think we have 3. Yeah. Currently, we have 3 gold certified, and then there are about 3 more that will be gold certified once they complete the next perspective course. So hopefully we should have 6 gold certified engineers, and that's something we're very proud of because it's a pretty small team. Yeah, so just to go into it, the client requested for a web-based enterprise level SCADA system. They wanted to accurately monitor their pressure, to get alarms and all those kind of things, to ensure precise billing because this is a business exists to make money after all. So they would need to accurately bill their customers, and they wanted to also be able to resolve disputes with relevant data because you may give a customer a bill and they will complain. You should have historical data to show their readings. Then I already talked about remote access for monitoring, shutdown, and even updating the parameters of the meters on site. And one last feature they requested for was that the system must be able to integrate seamlessly with their ERP for invoicing, planning, and billing. So there's a demo at the end. So I'll just quickly run through the slides and I'll talk more as I do the demo. So I've talked about the clients. They have stations in every part of Nigeria. Right now, we have like over 150 and counting. So then, and it's still growing. It's still growing beyond that. And we've not had any scalability problems so far. It has just worked as smoothly as it worked from day one. So one of the things that for most of the meters supports Modbus RTU, though in some specific stations, we had to work with Siemens PLCs, Modbus TCP, depending on the location. So we majorly gathered data through the Modbus RTU protocol, and we sent the information through the MQTT protocol to an MQTT broker in the cloud. So that is being self-hosted by us. And the Ignition SCADA platform acquired data through the Cyrus Link module. So you have MQTT engine for receiving the information, and then you can also use MQTT transmission to have tags in Ignition to send information back to your sites. So if you have any questions, I think you can feel free to stop me at any point. So
yeah, this wasn't your first project using MQTT, the protocol, eh?
Yeah, so we had played around. We started out with using Node-RED. I don't know how many people are familiar with Node-RED. It was just a little open source thing because I was a firm believer in not in building everything myself and using open source as much as possible. But then at some point we just realized that if you are going to be building for an industrial system, reliability and a lot of other things come into play, and the ability to rapidly develop features. So if something has already built an alarming feature for you, you don't need to go out and build everything yourself. Yeah. So, but Ignition, on the other hand, is also flexible enough that apart from the core features, there are a lot of other features that we've implemented ourselves that are not part of the core functionality. So if you have ideas and you have interesting things you want to do, Ignition gives you the opportunity to just, to enjoy yourself.
Definitely.
I like that too.
Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And you can do whatever you want. It's fine. So, so I think I've talked about a lot of the features, the alarm management. The system is solar powered because the green energy and all that, to make sure that all the sites are solar powered. We introduced redundant power supplies. So what we try to do is, since these are devices out on the field, we ensure that for the solar system, there are multiple batteries, multiple solar panels, multiple charge controllers. So in the event that something fails, the power fails, you can always switch over. Then there's the automated reporting as well, which I'll get into. They get daily reports, weekly reports, hourly reports, alarm notifications on Telegram, email, and a lot of other sources. So this is a simple architecture. It's not very sophisticated, to be honest. It's basically, you have devices out in the field, including like a shutdown valve to isolate a customer. In some cases, they pass through PLCs. In some cases, they don't. Then we have a Modbus to Spark-Plug B gateway here that transmits the data. And, you have encryption, username and passwords, and all the standard security features that you would expect. So then that sends the information straight to the broker. Ignition connects to the broker through the MQTT engine. Then we have a hosted database somewhere in the cloud as well. So here you didn't have your
You could overlay the kind of the Purdue security layer over this.
Yes, exactly.
It's essentially that cloud broker is essentially your DMZ, that gateway broker.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And of course, the thing is that MQTT is typically a single port for receiving data. It is, of course, bidirectional. So I would imagine that's where the shutdown command requirement. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That the protocol being bidirectional was extremely important to us because they needed to be able to, they could only monitor, they had a sort of system before, but they could only monitor, but they could not control. And the Spark plug B protocol made that really easy for us without writing a lot of complicated scripts. It was just built into the protocol for us.
Yeah. And your condition server, is that private cloud or where is that hosted?
Yeah, it's hosted on a cloud somewhere. I don't want to mention the specific name, but it's privately hosted on a cloud, a virtual machine.
Okay.
Hosted, yeah, within their infrastructure. And same for the database as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So so then you have different users, people join from tabs, laptops, phones, because most times you want to have real-time information. If a station goes down or there's a problem, you want to know right away. You should be able to log in via just a regular web browser on any device that you have. But a lot of the users have also made use of the mobile application so that they don't need to keep entering the URL multiple times. So a lot of them have the mobile apps installed on their phone. And, the perspective module made it very, very easy for us because it works with mobile responsiveness and all that. So we designed different views depending on the device that you're looking at, and we try to optimize that for the different users.
Yep.
So Moni, feel free to say anything at any point too. All right. So yeah, I'm just showing. So this is just a little overview just to show you what the gas station looks like. We've even optimized the design to look a little better than this. So it's web-based and you can access it from any part of the world on any device. You have access to certain features can be restricted by role. So you have role-based access. So here you can see that there are certain actions that the user may want to perform, and you will see that the user is not authorized to perform that action until he re-authenticates himself.
So role-based access, maybe just to explain the different security access levels and types. Role-based access is really popular to segregate specific access, even down to a tag level. You can restrict certain views and ability to action right down to the tag level. So roles-based access it's pretty much the most popular.
Yeah, exactly. And we implemented it in a variety of ways. There are certain users that can view reports but cannot download the reports. There are users that can perform certain actions. There are specific pages that are restricted. So there are a lot. And one thing that was also very useful as part of the integration was that we integrated the identity provider, that's whatever they use to manage all their users, directly into Ignition. So when a user logs into Ignition, we can read his roles, his user departments, and a lot of information that comes straight from the identity provider without us needing to recreate users and try to start sorting them into departments and all that stuff afresh. So it's already done straight from the identity provider. And if there is any change, for example, if a user is blocked out of the system, we don't need to do anything extra from our side. The user will just lose access to the SCADA system directly without any action from our end.
Absolutely. And the unlimited clients are incredibly valuable for that, because what will typically happen is if you have a limited client access, you can't do that. And you have to generate kind of role-based type access users, meaning that you don't have a comprehensive audit trail of user actions and access. So I think having the unlimited clients available makes a big difference for that as well.
Oh, yeah. That was actually a very big feature, because for us now, we don't really need to worry about, how many users are trying to log in. the unlimited tags has allowed us to scale. So there are times we have some interesting ideas like, oh, why don't we try to manipulate this data this way and store it this way? We are not thinking about a certain limit on the number of tags. So it has just given us complete freedom to do whatever we want. So that has been very, very helpful to us. So, well, cybersecurity, there's the standard TLS. We use, like for the MQTT, there's the TLS usernames and passwords. Obviously, for the Ignition SCADA server, you have your typical encryption before you log in, authentication usernames and passwords. Also, you can apply different levels of authentication. For example, you can require some users to have multi-factor authentication. Some need to log in with authentication apps. Some need to log in with one-time passwords. So any sort of authentication can be configured from the identity provider, and Ignition is going to integrate well with that and make sure that it enforces that before the user logs into the application.
Yep.
Yeah. So so we have a lot of dashboards. We'll go into this. We have performance metrics to, as we are getting raw data, we can now look at how a site is performing over time against a lot of other benchmarks. But we'll go over that in the presentation, in the demo. So then we have alarms, just like a standard SCADA system. You want to know if a site is down or up and stuff like that. So we have location-based monitoring for maps. We even integrated it to Google Maps, and we integrated the weather to it as well to know exactly what's happening on site. I'll go into that a little later.
You try to use all the components that are available in Perspective.
Yeah. We use and the interesting thing is that for us, when the first time we integrated this map, it literally took us about, let's say, 10 minutes. I just discussed with my colleague, why don't we have something that can integrate directions with Google Maps? And she literally just went on Google Maps, copied something from the API, plugged it into Ignition, and linked it to a button. And it was just that easy for us to just, show the Google Maps location. So, you have the standard reports that are automated. Users can download, you can view, and a lot of other stuff. Then I also mentioned that the reports can be sent on schedule to any specified email, Telegram, notifications. We have embedded reports. We have all sorts of different formats of reports that I may not even
Telegram integration. That's different applications are popular in different parts of the world. Something like WhatsApp, which is now included with the Twilio module. Telegram was a request a couple of years ago, and the integration with Telegram is fairly straightforward.
Yeah. So it didn't take us a lot of time. Once you understand basic APIs, it's really easy actually. And the Ignition that's one of the things I mentioned that we thought about. The client just mentioned, why can't we have something that can send to Telegram? And we just went and looked at it. There was the API documentation. We plugged that into Ignition, and it just worked straight away. And we still use. In fact, I've muted my notifications because I am sure I would be getting notifications on my Telegram during the presentation. We've installed over 100 sites, more than 400 installed devices. I'm sure the SQL rules, I know some of the information we put here has even changed. We have probably maybe 30,000 tags at this point. And the beautiful thing is we don't really have to worry about our tag counts. So
the only consideration around tag counts and SQL sizes, obviously you want the system to be performant.
Yes.
So although you're not limited by any of those limitations, you do want to make sure that the resources available to the system is performant.
Yeah, the hardware.
So that's one thing. Like I said, our servers are hosted in the cloud, so we have the ability to scale as needed.
Yeah.
So in the initial provisioning of the server, we looked at the maximum memory size Ignition is likely to consume and a lot of all that. And we scaled much more beyond that. So we have, even with all these tags that you have seen, we have not even hit, I don't even think we've hit 50% of the available capacity.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the time for the demo. Let me just, I'm trying to, let me unpin this
while you do that, I just want to check that there's no questions so far. I missed a couple of people this morning. That was very rude of us. People even said good morning. Morning, Ryan. Happy that you could join us. Caleb, yeah. Thank you. No other questions though? All happy so far? Yeah. Cool.
All right. So this is the interface. So I hit the URL, but this is the interface for the system. So you can see you have different customers in different parts of the country. This is Lagos. Some people don't know Nigeria very well, but this is one region, then this is a different region. One thing you would notice is if I switch from one region, you can look at and see that the graphics here is for a specific type of site. If I switch to a different type, let me see, this is, let me see, which one can I use? Let me see this one. Yeah, so the graphics will change and update based on the kind of site you are looking at. Some are single stream, some are dual stream, and we were able to use some of the session properties and a lot of all that to update this behind the scenes. So once you go to a site based on the drop down, it can feed back into it and say, okay, what site am I looking at? The session props also allowed us to ensure that if I change something here, it does not affect another user looking at the information. And it did not. We also made it easy for us not to have to redesign. If you have 100 sites, you don't want to redesign 100 pages. So you can have a specific set of site types and just feed in based on the type of sites that you have. Absolutely. So here you can see all the standard.
Demeji, that's a very, very good fundamental design philosophy. If you're building for one side, it's easy. I think in your case, when you start getting into the kind of scale and numbers that you're talking about, it is incredibly important to build with that in mind. And that those kind of session properties, like you mentioned, that definitely helps.
Yeah,
that's always one of the problems, is that you do a POC and you say, this POC works beautifully for one site, and then when you got to scale it, you need to have that automatic discovery, propagation.
Oh yeah,
well, those kinds
of course, the copy and paste, all the kind of inheritance, all of those lovely value adds that you get.
Yeah, exactly. That was something that we had to learn, because when we started, just like you said, we started with one location for a proof of concept. But as we went on, we had to think about it, like how are we going to scale to over 100 locations without redesigning everything? And that's where Ignition has a lot of resources. There's almost nothing that you want to ask that has not already been answered. And if such a thing exists, there is somebody to answer you on the forums, or you can just go and watch the videos. And there was a time we ran into an issue, something with the database. We reached out to Element 8 and they were happy to help us. So, all right. So, so here we have all sorts of trends. We have pressure. Can everybody still hear me? Just to confirm.
What's that, sorry?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. So we have pressure, we have temperature. So we have all sorts of graphs, just user-specific data. So here, and like I mentioned already, I can go from region to region, and I have different sites in the different regions. So here, I can show you, we have historical data.
Good, yeah.
Oh. We'll use Demeji.
Yeah, it seems like Monisola as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, the link to Nigeria that's gone. Our cable to Nigeria broke. Let's see if they get
Let's give them a couple of minutes, yeah. I still have many more questions, but I fear that we're not going to give them enough time to go through his entire demo if I ask more questions. But if anybody online has any questions so far, let us know. It really is as Demeji mentioned, a very intuitive presentation, application, excuse me. And visual wasn't necessarily their big focus initially. and they're spending a bit more time on the visuals now because the visuals are incredibly important as well.
But I think for them up front, the important thing was getting the billing right for their customers.
Yes.
I think that was the most critical thing, was getting that billing right, getting the integration to SAP.
Yeah, the balancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, money drives everything.
And for every day that they couldn't do that, they were losing money. We haven't even touched on the billing part, but let's see if they can get back online. We can't really tease them. We didn't have power this morning in the whole of
4 Ways.
The whole of 4 Ways, yeah.
Yeah, I came, Luan and I came to work in darkness. We had to go and find other coffee shops.
All right, I see Manisola seems to be back. I see somebody has a hand up. Caleb has a hand up.
I think everybody's muted. Caleb's no longer got a hand up.
Yeah, sorry, Caleb. I don't think you can ask a question, but you can type a question. All right. Oh dear. Wonder if we can...
Maybe what we should do is go on with the rest of the important things we have, in case we get to Miji back.
We've got a couple of things, not really important, but we can do that. Yeah, let's maybe do that. I just fear that we maybe won't get them back, so. Oh, thanks, Caleb. Well, I think maybe just for raising your hand.
About that, we just had like a little network out there. Just give us like 5 minutes.
Okay, sure, no problem. No problem, Caleb. I think just for being brave enough to put up your hand, admitting it was my mistake, I think we can send you something.
Oh, there's the Miji. Yay.
And connecting to audio.
Everybody still hear me?
Yep.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, sorry. I don't know. Something happened. I really don't know what happened, but I'm back.
No problem.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so let me try to share my screen again. Can we see my screen?
Yes.
Yep. There we go.
Okay. Sorry. I panicked a little just now.
No problem.
All right. So I was trying to show you the historical data. I think what was the last thing you heard?
Sorry to interrupt you. Feel free to go full screen if you don't want to expose the URL.
All right. Yeah, I was trying to do that. Yeah.
F11.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, what was I saying? I think so we have the historical data. That just shows you can make it as granular as you want. You can decide to go back a day and just going to update. I've gone back to 24th, and you can see the historical data. You have station alarms, credit balance. This credit balance is very useful when you have, let me look at it. Let's say you have some customers that you can look at their daily targets. And let me see, I think there are some customers that have, let's say, prepaid meters and all that. You can look at how much they've consumed over time. So one interesting thing that we did, and I'm skipping ahead here, we have a maintenance page. So basically, we have devices out on the field, and you may want to get in. We have different management platforms for them. But at some point, I realized I would be on the SCADA and I would have to log out, or I would have to switch tabs and go to this management platform for the routers to go and view the status of the routers, the network operator, and all that. So that was when we started looking into APIs, and we were able to integrate the API from that platform directly into Ignition. So here now, you can see the network provider. I don't know if you can all still see it. You can see the network, you can see the signal strength. If I switch to a different location, okay, all of them are for some reason using the same thing. Yeah, so you can see a different provider here, and the information has updated as well. If I go to a different site, you see something else here. So this gives us the ability to just see a lot of information without leaving ignition. That's actually one of the things I like the most about
Yes.
it. Yeah, so we have panel drawings, you know, I don't know if it points to it. So you can even have panel drawings for the sites. So for a particular site, if somebody is going to site, you may not want them to start taking the documentation with them and all that. It is right there on the SCADA.
PDF is inside of Ignition.
Yeah, inside Ignition. Everything is inside Ignition. So we have, we even have manuals. I don't want to go into all that, but we have manuals and all that. One interesting thing that we also did, let me go back. So here, if you look at this, we have a board, we have something here called a power dashboard. So on those sites, I told you that they are solar powered. So one thing that we also did was to integrate the solar systems directly into the platform as well. So for example, I can look at the station and I can look at the battery voltage, look at how much load, how much power is being generated or consumed. I can see the voltage and current and all that stuff. So, and if I go to a site that does not have the special charge controller, you don't see that, it's grayed out. So you have that level of customization. So just before I leave this page, I mentioned something about the Google Maps, right? So let me just show you something. So if I click this button, you may want to go to the site. I can literally just double click this station location button. And it takes me directly to my Google Maps.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So my starting point is my location. And like you can see, I don't need to do anything from here. So
Dimeji, for as somebody who's experienced the traffic in Lagos, are the directions useful?
yeah, of course. No, they are very useful.
I'm just teasing.
Just going out, I tell the guys just check what is happening because you may even be a route you know very well, but there might just be traffic or there might be a construction or something just happened, So it's always better to check.
Really useful.
From even using Google Maps. One, it rains a lot here in Nigeria. So there are times you want to go to a location and most of them are outdoors. So you want to know what the weather is like or going to be there. So can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had to, we thought about it. Okay, now we have Google Maps. Then we thought about integrating the weather as well. So you have the weather here. You can see what the current temperature is. You can look at the humidity and a bunch of other stuff. And then you can even look at the forecast if you are trying to plan. There are times we have maintenance activities. So you may want to look at what the weather is like. So let me try this other place. Okay, the weather is pretty good. I thought it was going to be raining. There are times it rains in some places. So you can see the weather changing from location to location. And you can basically see what is likely to happen if you are trying to plan your maintenance activities. So we have, I feel like I'm saying a lot. I will try to round up. Just give me like 2 or 3 more minutes. So we have our dashboards here where you can look at, okay, how much a customer has consumed over a period of time, previous day, current day. We even have our own, let's call it OEE. It's not the standard Ignition's OEE, but we came up with something to look at the performance of the sites. You can have metrics to see, okay, what's the maximum flow, minimum flow, and you can even change it. You can change the dates. So if you look at it, the values will update as you change the periods. Yeah. So you can even print this, but let me skip ahead. So the last thing that I'll be mentioning is the maps. So you have different customers in different locations. So you can see the distribution. I could zoom in. There are a lot of sites. Ignition also, if you look at this graph, or if you look at this map, you can see that there are some that are blue. There are some that are kind of deep hash. So we'll use that. We customize it to say if a customer is not consuming gas, then the color should just be this gray.
So the color is the status indicator.
Exactly, a status indicators. And if you double click on any one, you can see the real-time parameters of the customer. We also included the direction. So if you are here, you can also, from the maps, you may also want to see the directions. So you can do that. I will not click it, but if you click it, it's going to basically do the same thing. And this is dynamic for every station that you click on, every single station that you click on. So it's pretty interesting. The last mention is the ERP. So I don't have access to their ERP now, nor should I, but we are able to take data from the SCADA through an API to send it through to their ERP. And that is very useful to them for invoicing, billing, a lot of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then there are reports, the hourly reports for pressure monitoring, which is very important for a site like this. Daily reports to look at the consumption, weekly reports, monthly reports, depending on how they want it to be. So just to round up, I'll say that Ignition has given us a very powerful platform out of the box. What I love most about it is even the flexibility that beyond what you get out of the box, it gives you the freedom to completely customize it how you want. And we've been able to do a lot of interesting things because of the flexibility and the tools that have been provided for us within Ignition. So I'll stop talking. I think I'll just quit and let people ask.
It's really valuable. There's so many, from a functional point of view, I jokingly said earlier that it looks like you try to include every component that you had available, but it's all valuable to have and all valuable information to have on hand. And obviously every application is unique and the requirements are different. I think what you mentioned about the ability to do the validation of the financials, if I can call it that, with the ERP, that was obviously a big drive. To see the status indicator, a quick glance of just purely looking visually at the color to get a status indicator of each one of the sites. That's incredibly valuable for an operator. The historical data, of course, having the ability to see raw data. Very often you just want to see raw data and not necessarily a trend. The automated reports are rudimentary, but valuable and is delivered every day. Really, really, really nice functional application, Demeji. We were really happy when we saw this the first time. So well done.
There's a lot more stuff I probably didn't mention, but I can't say everything in one day, so it's fine. So.
No, definitely. And your comment that you made earlier, it's never going to be finished, because when it's finished, it's perfect. So there's always the addition of extra functionality, the want to make it more visually appealing, and that's stuff you do over time. But at least the initial requirements were met with this version. So really well done.
Yeah, and I also want to just thank you guys for. Let me turn on my camera. I also want to thank you guys for your support. I think that was without that support. I really believe so. We started out, we had a fair idea of what we're doing, but then we ran into some serious issues that could have caused some problems. But then when we reached out to you, you were very happy to help us. And that is one thing. I just feel I need to say it so that everybody can hear. We've on the other projects that we tried to work on, you've given us all the support that we've needed to push us over the finish line. So I just feel I need to say that publicly.
It's a pleasure. That's why we're here. We just want to see system integrators all over Africa grow and deliver successful projects. But that's why we're here. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
It's easy to help Demeji and his team, because every time you get onto a call with him, you just see this smiling person, enthusiasm and so enthusiastic about Ignition. And how can you be grumpy with that?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah. We do have a question. We've got a question. As the requirements grew, did you ever find that you had painted yourself into a corner and had to rework something or change your approach?
Yes. So initially, when we started out, so that you understand how we started, we didn't know anything about, at least I didn't know anything about UDTs. So we had the data coming in from MQTT engine, and we had to historize every station manually and all the tags and everything manually. So at some point, we discovered that, when we started having many new sites, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can.
My network is a bit unstable. Okay, yeah, so at some point, we realized that we could not continue manually historizing for every new station. And there were features that we wanted to implement that would require us going through every tag in our MQTT engine. So what we had to do was to now leverage the power of UDTs to basically say, okay, I would push all this data that is coming from MQTT engine, put it in a UDT, and then whatever action I carry out on the UDT templates then applies to all the sites. So that was one major change that we had to make. And like I said, I didn't know anything about UDT. So but it was later I started doing it. I just actually took the time to start going through the resources one by one. And when I came across that, I told this is the solution to the problem that we have been facing. So yeah, I would say that was a major point we had to change.
Yeah, user-defined types, UDTs, really is a very large component of scalable design, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that's a good one to mention. It's funny that there are so many good design fundamentals and documents available, but we find that, with most engineers, we kind of start developing, and we visit those guides when we're already a couple of months into the project. But those guides are available. It's maybe a lesson learned for others that are embarking on their first project. But UDTs are incredibly powerful, for sure.
Yeah, it was a game changer for us, because now when we think about a new feature, it's easy to implement without having to go through all the stations. You can just implement it on the UDT, test it properly, and then deploy, and then it just scales across all the sites.
Yeah, no, for sure. Good. I don't see any other questions.
No.
Any questions from your side, Gary?
No, it's a beautiful application.
Meji, thank you for sharing. We're looking forward to see what you are building in the northern part of Nigeria over the next little while. We're going to share your contact details with the presentation, if that's okay. If somebody wants to get in contact with you.
All right, that's fine.
Perfect. But thank you so much for sharing your good work with us.
Yeah.
I do know that you're busy with several other applications. I know it's not going to be the last Ignition application that we see, but thank you very much for time to share.
And thank you to your team.
Yeah, we are constantly looking for more things, with Ignition.
Definitely. No, we look forward to it. Thank you very much. I think we've got 1 minute left. How's that for timing? Well done, Demeji.
Yeah.
So really just the last things from our side this morning as we wrap it up. A reminder again about our training. We do have free training available. If you're an existing customer, we have reached out. We have spoken about it. We know that people typically don't read emails. If you have an existing gateway license, please get in touch with us. We do provide free training, virtual training. The training courses are very, very full, very, very quickly. So please make sure that you schedule your training as soon as possible. And then finally, our invitation for our community impact program is still open. If you are familiar with any charity, non-profit, NGO, where you feel that Ignition could deliver value to the lives or the livelihoods of a group of people, or a business that are doing good work, improving the livelihoods of individuals or communities, please let us know. We'd love to work with you on that, and we would also love to donate an Ignition license for the purpose of doing that. So yeah, that's all we had on our side. Gary, Luan, anything else?
No, thank you all for joining.
Fantastic. So we will share a recording.
Yeah, we'll share a recording.
We'll share a recording with as well as all the relevant links that we've discussed. And the next time we will see you will either be next week, Tuesday's webinar, We've got the standing demos, the
Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday, the first week of the month, and then also Elevate towards the end of October. Otherwise, if you have any other questions, please get in touch with us. We'd love to chat further. Demejian team, thank you very much again, and have a lovely, safe weekend, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.